So I'm going to walk you through our course page to help you navigate the different assignments and different information that are available in the course page. So I've started here at the landing site that you should see when you log into the course. So on the left side is sort of an access menu. You should always see announcements when you log in, and you can see that I posted a few different announcements here, including a welcome announcement and video that I made. This is an announcement from one of our lab instructors. This is some information about the fact that we have different lab instructors in this course. So even though I'm the lecture instructor for everyone, there are a couple of other lab instructors that will be responsible for grading your lab assignments, so depending on the section that you enrolled in. And then I sent out a couple of announcements today asking you to complete a survey, so there's a link to that, and also to join our MS Teams area so that you can have more chat/informal communication. Anyway, so the announcements are on the left. When I post announcements, I almost always send them out as emails as well. Your TCC email is a Gmail account. I recommend that you download the Gmail app and set it up with notifications so you get a push notification when you get an email at that account. That way you'll keep track of the emails that I've sent and you won't have to go navigate and find emails. That'll help you keep up with the course material a little bit. Other things you can find here, this is a link to my instructor information, so the hours that I'm available to you, how to reach me by email. As I mentioned in the MS Teams announcement, you can use that to chat with me. So if you want to download the MS Teams app, you can send me a chat message there. It's also possible to phone me through that app, so that might be a good place to meet me as well. And then a list of the hours that I'm available are present on this link as well. So hours are virtual. If you want to set up a time to arrange a video conference or phone call, you can do that. You can also try pinging me on Microsoft Teams to see if I'm available. And then these are the hours that I should be available in my office. But again, to meet with me for sure, go ahead and ping me on Teams. Live video sessions, this is where all of our live sessions will be present. So this course room is the same link we're going to use for lecture lab for all the lab instructors as well. If there are recordings available, they're going to be present here in this, what we call a hamburger menu. So that link here for recordings. There aren't any recordings yet because we haven't really had any class sessions, but that's where the recordings will be found as well. And when you come in, just join the course room, and that's for any live sessions. Hangouts will also be present here, and your lab instructors will have their lab sessions and office hours there as well. Next, you'll find lecture material. So here we have a copy of the syllabus. The first assignment in lecture is a syllabus quiz. So go ahead and go over the syllabus and have that available as you take your syllabus quiz. This is also a link to the lecture schedule. And like all the other links in my class, you'll need to be logged in to your TCC Gmail account in order to access them. But this shows you when I'm going to be available. So I'm going to have live lecture sessions on Tuesday morning from 9:30 to 11 and a Wednesday afternoon from 3:30 to 5. The lab, those will be the same, so you don't have to attend both. You would just attend one of those. I will record them. There will be some time during that time for you to work in groups and study in groups, and you can use that group study to take group quizzes. So I certainly encourage you to try to come to either the live lecture sessions or my live hangouts, which are down here. If you study in a group, then you can take the lecture quizzes as a group in addition to your individual attempts. And then this is the times for the live lab sessions. Again, those will be recorded, but we encourage you to attend if at all possible. Here's our email addresses, and then the rest of this document is just the weekly schedule for lecture. Syllabus kind of walks through a little bit more detail about the policies of the course, so be sure, as I said, to review that. And then the first assignment in lecture is a syllabus quiz, or one of the assignments in the first week. So the first week's lesson is available, and everything that you need to do is listed here. It's also listed inside here in the first page of the lesson. So there's an introduction assignment, which is asking you to introduce yourself, post a video or audio of yourself telling me a little bit about yourself, why you're taking this class, and things like that. And then read the syllabus and complete the syllabus quiz. Main purpose for this is, of course, for you to read the syllabus, and then also for you to check your technology so that you can utilize the Proctorio extension for exam proctoring. The week 1 lesson is available, and I'll show you that in a minute. This is a link to the textbook chapter that is associated with that lesson. And then there's also a reading guide to go through that chapter, and then a practice quiz and a lesson quiz. So let's talk about the introductory stuff first, and then we'll come back to the lesson. So the introduction is, like I said, this is going to link out to a site called GoReact, where you can post it, where you can record yourself there, or you can upload a video or audio of yourself. And I want you to be clear about your name and why you're taking this class. Let me be clear about my name. My name is Dr. Mayness. It's spelled Mains, but pronounced Mayness, like extra May. So the month of May, then N-E-S-S after that, Mayness. That's how it's pronounced. So do introduce yourself, and especially tell us what your preferred name is, and help us if you have unusual pronunciation. Then tell me why you're taking the class, what's your major, why you need this class, and then tell me one thing you're passionate about. And you can either post that as a video or as an audio comment. If you do audio, it would be great if you would include a photo of yourself or a Bitmoji so that we have a sense of who you are. Secure Exam Proctor is a Chrome extension. So to take your exams and quizzes in this class, you need to use Chrome, the browser Chrome, and you'll need to use this proctoring system called Proctorio. And so this is how you can install the exam proctor. And if at any time when you're taking or launching a quiz you encounter a request for a password, just means you need to click on the Secure Exam Proctor again and make sure it's set up before you take the quiz. Then we have the syllabus quiz. Like I said, you can print a copy of the syllabus before you take the quiz. This really isn't about getting answers right or wrong so much as about checking your technology, but I think it is for a grade. So make sure you answer the syllabus questions as well. And then the lesson for this week, all of your lessons are going to be linked to here. And this is what the lessons look like. The first page is always going to be a set of learning objectives that says what you're supposed to learn from this lesson. And then you're just going to go through the lesson and go through each page. Some of the pages will have questions on them, so be sure to answer those questions. Those are also for a grade. And you have a bunch of pages here, and so just go through all of them. Once you've completed the lesson, take note of the things that you still might need to work more on, particularly things that you're not doing as well on. One thing I might recommend you do as soon as you've completed the lesson is go ahead and take the practice quiz once. The practice quizzes you can take as many times as you want, and it should give you an indication of the areas where you're really solid on the material versus areas you need to brush up on. So if you take the practice quiz and find out that you're doing just fine on questions about the scientific method, but you still need to look at levels of biological organization, then you know kind of how to guide your studying. So I'd go ahead and take the practice quiz next, and then after that, go into the book chapter and read the chapter as needed, and also complete the reading guide as needed. Reading guides are for extra credit for the exam, so they're not actually due until the exam, but it's going to help you really walk through deliberately through the chapter and make sure you understand all the material. So that link to the textbook was back on the checklist page. So that's going to open out to the chapter in the textbook. And this is an electronic textbook. And you'll just go through and look through this chapter, and you don't have to read every word of the chapter. What I would suggest again is to use the textbook to augment your studying and use it as a resource for areas that you need more information or that you're not understanding as well as you'd like. So the reading guides, and you can do these in groups as well, are going to be submitted with exam 1 or before exam 1. But like I said, they'll help you prepare for the material. Take the practice quiz. You can take this quiz as many times as you want, but you have to get at least a 60% on the practice quiz in order to take the week 1 lesson quiz. And then once you're solid on the material, go ahead and take the week 1 lesson 1 quiz. This one is going to be timed. You have 2 attempts at this quiz, and your top grade will be recorded. And then if you document that you've studied in a group for 30 minutes or more that week, your group can take the quiz again. And then you're going to get the average of those 2 grades, your solo attempt and your group attempt. So if you come to class, there'll be some time during live class sessions for you to study together in groups. If you come to my Hangouts, you can do the group study there. And if you need to, you can also do group study offline, not offline, but outside of those class times, and post a video in the GoReact system so that I know that you studied together. And then I'll set up a group quiz for you to complete the week 1 lesson. This week we have a lot of assignments because you have that introductory assignment plus the syllabus quiz. Most weeks you're just going to have a lesson and then the reading guide, practice quiz, and quiz. So that's the lecture assignments for week 1. If we go to the lab material, we can find the lab assignments as well. So the lab syllabus is here. Be sure to read through that. Then we'll look at the week 1 lab. So again, there's a few extra assignments in the week 1 lab just because of the fact that there's a few things to make sure you're on top of. So in the week 1 lab, we have the safety lesson and an assignment on that to show that you completed the safety lesson. And then we have a lesson about how to use microscopes, what the eukaryotic cells look like under the microscope in the scientific method. And then another proctorio practice quiz to make sure you got that down. And then a post-lab analysis, which is effectively a quiz. It's a timed event where you go through and answer questions from that week's lesson. So these are going to look pretty similar. The safety lesson is going to open kind of like the previous one did, where it's going to be a lesson similar to what I showed you for lecture. So make sure you go through that. And then the week 1 microscope lesson also is going to look similar. So starting with learning objectives and then all the things that you're supposed to learn in that lesson. So every week for lab, you're going to have a post-lab analysis that tests your understanding of the lesson and embedded questions in the lab lesson itself. So as you're going through the lab, be sure to answer those embedded questions. Both of those are for a grade. And so again, like I said, most of your lab assignments most weeks the lab won't have quite as many assignments, but for now they're a little bit extra. Other things you can find on the left-hand side, this is a calendar. It just shows when your assignments are due. So you can see all these assignments. So I got to change those. All these assignments that should be due on Monday at 5 p.m., the second Monday of the class. And so far my strategy is to have everything due Monday at 5 p.m. I have a question at MS Teams for you to respond to about how you feel about that, but that's what I have so far. There's a grade center here. This is also a place where you can do evaluations. And then these 2 tutoring links are useful. This tutoring at TCC will link you directly to the Science Learning Center. So if you need additional help in the class, that's a great place. There's also a link there to the writing lab. We write a research paper in lab for this class. So that's a good source of information. And then our other lab instructors are going to post their information here. So far, we don't have information from both of them, but their office hours and contact information will be here. So that's what I have in the course so far. Each week, you're going to have a lesson in the lecture and a lesson in lab. And like I said, I'll be having live sessions for both lecture and lab, and we'll be recording those for students that can't attend. And then the work itself, much of it is done at your own pace or outside of those sessions. But I do encourage you to work in groups. We're going to have some required group work in lab. And in lecture, I encourage you to do some group studies so you can take advantage of those group quizzes as well. All right, that's all I have for now.